Hello guys, it's Paula and I'm back today to do a create with me. I've had several of you ask me to show how to cover this this envelope that we did the scene with the other day before I left on my trip, so I thought we would do that. I want to show you how grungy it looks when you take it apart, and that's why I decided to cover it when I did. You can see here how it looks. So I just inked lightly here in the middle before we got started. But I wanted to show you how I did it. I started with some wider, because this is a, I think this is like a, 7 1/4 by 5 inch envelope. Okay. So I laid my music sheet out like straight so that my envelope would hit it at the top straight. Now I didn't want to go all the way up to here. I wanted to make sure I got the music notes in. So I just kind of scooted it over, and I'm going to turn it sideways so you can see better maybe. Okay, I just scooted it over and made sure I was hitting the top and hoping that it was straight when all was said and done. If it's not perfectly straight, oh well, that's okay. And I got a pencil, and with the pencil I just drew around. I'm sure a lot of you understand how to do this, but you know, we have a lot of newbies. I was a newbie once and I would need explanation, so I appreciate it when people go back and give me what I need to learn. So we're just going to go around it. We don't have to necessarily glue it together. So when we get to the end here, just kind of put a mark so we know where to cut it straight on the end. And I think we're going to do the same thing on this bottom portion. Rather than use a different kind of music, I thought we'd just do the very same thing. And try to line it up the best you can. So that it will be straight. We don't know until we pull it off. It's kind of a surprise. Now, on the side flaps, I did use a different paper. So I thought on this one, let me see what I got here. I don't have a lot of scraps left over, but I've got a few. Let's see. Got this blue, and it might be enough for both. Yeah, so I just laid it under as well and lined it up with, you could even do it like this, where you line it up on the inside as far down as you want it to go. Make sure you can see what I'm doing. And then flip it, hang on to it and flip it over. And then you know that it's going to be lined up, but you want to make sure it's straight with this straight line for the envelope itself. And then just draw around it. And that's simple. Do the same thing on the other side. I hope I have enough to do that. It doesn't look like I'm going to. Great. I should have went down a little further. Let's just do that, because we're not going to use that side anyway. Okay, so line that up right there. It is just enough to cover this side flap. Seriously, just enough. We got lucky. Okay, now we'll move down and do this other side. And I'll just do it on the opposite side. That way we know we get it where it needs to be. Now I'm going to bring it down this way. Line it straight up. I really, really want you guys to try this, because I say that because it looks so cool when it's done. In the last pink Santa book I made, it really looked neat, and I think everybody needs to try it. Okay, so now flip your envelope back over, get your scissors, and we're just going to cut around the lines we drew. And you just want to make sure you're cutting. If you run out of line, that means that you've ran to the very edge of the paper. And that's fine, because we're going to flip it over and use it. And the same with the second one. So this is probably a good video for me to talk about my trip, my second half of my trip. I went to Cleveland Hospital to have some tests ran. I don't know if I told you guys. I don't know what I told you. You know, I try to not tell too much because some people aren't interested in, you don't want to bore people with my little problems. My mouth is super dry, so I may have to take a drink every now and then. One of the reasons my mouth is super dry is because I do have Sjogren's, which is dry mouth, dry eyes. It's an autoimmune deficiency. I also have several other autoimmune deficiencies, such as mixed connective tissue disease. I have also have positive ANA antibody. Let me make sure I got the cutting board where you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this straight line up here where we drew off our last one, because it'll be just easier to do that. We'll draw the straight lines and then we'll do the cutting out. It's kind of hard to see those straight lines on the video, but you'll see them. I just kind of drew lines out to the side. There's so many different things in this world that are physical that we can all have to deal with once in a while. I kind of feel grateful that it's not like cancer or something. We thought that I had lupus, and felt like we weren't getting the answers we needed here locally. So my kids insisted that I go to Cleveland Clinic and get some opinions from the doctors there, which was the rheumatologist and immunologist, and I mean, it could go on and on. But anyway, this doctor spent an hour with me and took a major history. She thinks that I have really have something else going on that's not much better, but we'll just have to see. I still don't know. I have to see a neurologist and have some biopsies done. And that's no big deal. It's not going to affect me doing my videos. You know, it takes a lot to stop me from doing anything. Give me my hands and I'll figure it out. Also saw an orthopedic while I was there because a year ago it was October of 17, right before Christmas last year, I had torn rotator cuff and bicep tear and was in a lot of pain, and decided to take a chance and get it fixed, and because it was on my dominant right shoulder. And anyway, let me talk about the project for a second. Okay, so we cut these out, and as you know before, we glued them down. And you will even up anything that is sticking out around the sides. Now, I'm not going to remake this one because I know you guys know how to put a seam in there. But I wanted you to be able to know how to cut out these flaps. You just glue them straight down, then you ink them after you've got them glued. Ink the back of your paper. Take your little side flaps that you cut out and put right down onto the sides. Now, I am going to make this little book for this particular one. I'll show you how it will lay out in the book, and then I'll put it up. I'm not going to glue all the pieces because you've been through this before, and I'm not going to bore you. going to put Rudolph right there. I'm going to put a little tree, and I made the tree out of crocheted fabric, a little piece of crochet, and I'm going to put the Happy Holidays up there. And here's Santa sharing candy canes with his elf. And I have lost a piece, which is the star. I will locate it, but right now it's incognito. I don't know where it went. But it's just, I just punched out a blue star and put it on top. And that's all you need to do. Okay, now, let's not worry with this one today because most of you were able to see that. I'm going to put this to the side and work on it later. I wanted to show you some of the things I did last night because I'm so behind on trying to get this done. I want to really try to do one more Christmas album or December daily so you guys, everyone that wants one can get one. Now I'm working really hard to do that. This is Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and it's in really good condition. And I've got the spine done in this really cool blue and gold. And it's 2 signatures. And I'm going to put tabs on it. It's got this beautiful collection. Of course, that's the second part I've got there instead of the first part. But I stitched all the pockets and everything in. It's got a really cool image of the reindeer in here, and I wanted to show you. It's in both signatures. We've got fold-out papers. We've got side pockets right here. Is he not just gorgeous, little reindeer? He's in both signatures, and in one signature he has a pocket on top, and on this signature is, oh, this is the pocket one, and on the second signature he has a side tuck. But I put him on some music sheets and zigzagged around him and put him in the book, and I just love him. Okay, now, this book will be bound into the book today, but I have none of the embellishments made. Well, I say I have none. You saw yesterday's video where I did the trifold with Tracy Fox, and I'll show you again real quick, where it folds out. And I just took the red and white twine, tied it around so that it would fit into our bag. You know, I always like to add a bag one way or the other into our books. So this time I decided to add, let me tie this somewhat cute, add a bag like this. You've seen me do it before, where we hinge it and put it in. Here is an old vintage card. I've added red to this color scheme, so it's going to be blues and red. And I did that because it was looking blasé to me, and I felt like it needed to be zipped up a little bit. So once we get this in, this trifold that Tracy has is going to be what goes into this pocket. Now you can attach it in the back, but it's not necessary. It fits perfect in there. And I might even put this little journaling card in. I haven't decided. I don't know if I want to cover up this vintage card or not. So, and I did get the flip made and a couple little tags. Nothing big. Just a few little things I threw together. Now, this is something I stitched on. This was an old kitchen vintage Christmas hand towel, and it had Rudolph on there, and I just thought, how perfect is that? And so it wasn't square, so I cut it at a triangle shape and then just gave it this fun design, and then you can journal on the back. Is that not cute? I thought it turned out really cute. I need to ink this still. Let's just give it a little ink. Now, I've been inking with blue by Tim Holtz, the Faded Jeans. And you might think, why are you doing that, Paula? Well, it really went well with the paper. And the brown just kind of took away from I don't know, the Christmas of the crispness, not Christmas, of this book. I just like that it had a white crispness about it. You know, it just looks really white, and I didn't want to brown it down. Okay, so these are the things that are completely ready. I'm going to set them aside, and I don't have anything that's, you know, spectacular for us to make today, except journaling cards, tags, and I got some new bingo cards while I was in Cleveland. Also, so I did see the orthopedic there, and he is going to, he did not recommend I have more surgery because of my autoimmune issues. It would cause more problems with my shoulder, and so he gave me some unique, different exercises that will not hurt me. He doesn't want me to do exercises that will cause pain, which is what I had been doing. It's my dominant arm. I told him that I was into art and journal making, and that I could not do that. I had to do that. And might as well just shoot me if I can't do my crafts, right? I'm sure a lot of you feel that same way. We're a little crazy when it comes to our crafts. I know. Okay, so I think the first thing we'll do is this, and we've done these before, just so you know. We're going to also use this same little deer, but this is a journaling card I've got here, and it is going to have, I'm telling you, this white paper, whenever you get anything on it, it's everywhere. So I won't get to have my shoulder fixed completely right, but he did tell me you have 3 other tendons that is keeping you able to lift your arm, which is very true. I can lift my arm. It's painful, but I can do it. And he said we're going to strengthen the other tendons and get you back to feeling less pain. So that was good news. He wants to see me back in 8 weeks. He did give me a very different kind of injection down way into the joint, which I've never had, and he manipulated it into the joint really well, so I don't have to worry about that not being helpful. Okay, so he's only starting me on 1 exercise, and he wants to see me back in 8 weeks. That's the part about going to Cleveland that is, you know, you got to fly back and forth and be willing to be seen. I mean, they usually take up and take care of your treatment. Not always. If you told them you just wanted an opinion, that's fine. But I'm still being treated with the rheumatologist and so forth. She's sending me to a neurologist. She does not think I have lupus. She thinks that I have small fiber neuropathy, which we're still learning what that is all about. So when I learn, I'll let you know, as I know. They're going to do some biopsies and stuff. It's kind of like, it's the small nerves in your peripheral nervous system that takes care of housekeeping in your body. And when it starts acting up, it starts affecting your body, and it is painful. And that's what I've been experiencing, is pain, which is the reason that I decided to go to Cleveland. I've had this problem for over 5 years, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. Anyway, no more of that. We're going to move along. Here, I've got this cute little deer in a different color this time. We're going to use him in gold on silver. I thinned out this journal card so he'll fit into this pocket up here. Let me show you. If I didn't glue the pocket too much, we may only be able to use a tag. Yep, that's what's going to happen, but that's okay. We can put him somewhere in here, or we might just do him as a separate journal sheet. Let's do that. Let's do him as a separate journal sheet. And actually, let's do him first. I'm sorry I'm all over the place, guys. But I want, this is how it is when you just sit down to craft. You don't give it a lot of thought, you just do it. Now he does have a hole in his back, so I am going to come up with a way to cover that. It won't be that hard. So I'm gluing him down and about to start getting glue all over me. One more day. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to set him down as if he's got somewhere to sit at the bottom, and I'll come up with something, lace or something, for him to be grounded onto the ground. I just wanted to show you that you can do silver and gold together and it look just fine. And that's what we're doing here, is mixing silver and gold. Now, of course, because he was a heavier chipboard, I had to kind of put a little bit heavier glue, so I'm kind of cleaning that up a little bit. I don't want to go crazy, but just a little bit. Because sometimes when you touch your, you know this, you've had this happen, I'm sure, when you touch your journaling cards, sometimes it can discolor them with the moisture from your rags. So you want to be careful and just get what you're going after, because it'll have a smeared look if you don't. Which, what can I say? Okay, now I have this Love and this Joy puffy stickers that came out of the puffy sticker pack from last night, and I thought, you know, I want to put some titles on some of these journaling cards. I want this just to be a regular journaling card that you flip over and use. And I'm incorporating red, so I'm just gluing over that little hole, Love. And I have one that says Joy, which I'm going to put on here too. We just have to decide where on here. Maybe, trying to think. Got a little bit of glue right there I'm going to have to work on once he dries. But it's wanting to peel for some reason, so we may be putting it right here. Yeah, let's just stick it right there to cover that up, and then we don't have to worry about it. And if we decide we don't like it later on, we won't use it. There's nothing big, not a big deal about that. I think while we're in the process of doing this, that I'm going to go ahead and take the silver ink on this particular one and ink around the edges. I used Hero Arts silver ink, and it's a pigment ink, like I said yesterday, so you do have to allow time for it to dry. So once you set it down, leave it alone until it has, you know, 20 or so minutes to dry. All right, here it is right here. Hero Arts. It's called, they don't even have the name on here. Can you believe it? It came in a kit, but it's silver. So that's all you really need to know. These are silver little spots on the side. I just take it around like this, and because it's a softer, spongy applicator there on the end, it just kind of spreads right over and just makes its own little design or whatever. And so, yeah, got Love and Joy. I mean, yes, Love and Joy on here. And I may go back and add some other things that say something. Like we could even do this Merry Christmas if we wanted to somewhere. But let's wait and see how he turns out. once he dries up a little bit. Okay, so let's set him to the side. We're accomplishing something here. Slowly she goes, but we're doing it. Okay, now, I've done this before. I'm going to add some red doodling to this book. This is going to have 3 boxes on the inside and 3 boxes on the outside. Now, the reason I do this is a lot of people, when they do December daily, they like to be able to have areas to make a wish list, make a shopping list, a wish list, and a shopping list. They're 2 different things, unless you're using them as one thing, and you can do that. To me, a wish list is things I'm wishing for, if I'm the one writing it. Or it can be people you buy for. You can change the title if you need to. Super easy. You just have to improvise depending on your situation. And I like to always write one very important thing, which is your menu. Yes, menu. Okay, and you're going to have events. You want to always have a list of your events, because if you've got grandkids or children, that's going to be in Christmas programs, band programs, you name it, you want to have. And over here, you're going to have your events. You're going to have your events, you're going to have your menu, and then you're going to need a list for like everything, like groceries. It can be anything, but you're going to need a list. So we're going to flip that over, do the same thing on the back, except on the middle. We're not going to do it on the middle. And this is where the presents are going to come in. The wish list is going to come in. And you don't need to be fancy and neat. Part of the fun of doing a December daily, which I don't have one ready to do this year, but it's just my husband and I, and so there's really not enough. I mean, I do an album and write what I need to write in that with my grandkids at Christmas, but yeah, you don't have to do. Okay, so here, let's see what all we put over here. We put events, menu, list. Okay, so over here, we're going to put wish list. Okay, and this one's just going to be simple. To do list, because there's always something to do. Am I right? Always something to do. So we've got that all written out and ready. So I thought we would add a little something to this so it doesn't look so plain. Let me see what I've got here. Maybe down in one of the corners right here in the front. I'm looking here. I say we go with red and do one of these reindeer. I hope you guys are not getting bored with Christmas books, but unfortunately this time of year that's what I have a lot of requests for. And I don't want to let anybody down, but I will be starting back with a winter book for winter time, which I feel like is different than Christmas. Some people kind of think it's the same, but I will do a winter book, at least one. Now I'm going to put a sweet Rudolph right there. I don't know if he has that many antlers or not, but there he goes, right there. Now, I'm going to make a tag for us to slip down in here since the journaling card did not want to. I wonder if our little book will go down in there. You know, I'm always making a little book to go somewhere. No, he's still a little too wide. We're going to need to do a journaling card. Let's see. Or a tag, I mean. Let's try this tag and see. Yes, that's going to be perfect. So I'm going to ink this up with the blue. Now, what do we want to put on this? That is the question. Okay. Now, I do know since we have red going on and blue edging that I kind of want to keep these two things to those colors. So let me find some gold to tie the top. Gold. Wrong thing. I just said red. Didn't I? Red and blue? Let's find some blue. Let's do the blue fabric because I just love this fabric that's on the binding. Let's do it first. And we could have it tied off and easily accessible to pull the tag out. And then flip it over and let's actually tie this one. There we go. Okay, now as far as what we put on him, let me see. We have a lot of goodies that are not just Rudolph, but I'm trying to knock out the Rudolph ones first. And I do have one more reindeer that we can put here. And kind of that way it'll be a little more cohesive since we've got the reindeer on the front. These are clear stickers with glitter. They're really pretty, guys. My secret person at my retreat got me those. She got me a lot of Christmas stuff, actually. She asked what I was working on, and that's what I told her. I was working on Christmas items. So there we go. Simple but cute. Now, this December daily list is all ready. Now, before I come out of here with it, I'm going to add some little doodles, like some little stars. We've done stars before, but they just seem like they work at Christmas. Okay. I love doing this. I've had people tell me they like me adding this in the December dailies for them. I'm thinking that we might need to doodle a little bit around our tag because it looks kind of odd sticking up with nothing on it. So, I'm going to move it up here and just doodle a little bit around the outside. Just little stitch marks. There we go. I like that better. Okay, so this is simple, but a necessary little item. So we're just use 2 cards, put them together. We've done this a million times, but it's ready to go now. Okay, now let's move on. You know, I can't do a book that I think anyway, I can't do a book that I don't do some kind of trifold something. You know, well, we did do the trifold with Tracy's little blank one, but I want to do one, you know, that opens up and has little pockets and so forth. So, in the middle too, I want to put a tree. Are you shocked? Let's see if I can find some more paper that is the size I need it to be. I think I'm going to do music sheet paper behind the little tree because this is kind of a busy paper. Let's see. Let's put the little tree right here. This is a different size little tree. He's only going to have 2 little bushels here. And I had a stem for him cut. Lost the star on the last one. Have the star for this one. And actually, I wanted to do it like this, I think. So that it kind of separate the colors out. Let me see. It must have got laid down over here and slipped out. If not, we'll come up with another one. Just a little piece of paper anyway. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. But we're just going to cut a little strip. And as soon as I can get my hands on what I want to use, I wanted to use some gold. So let's just do this. Let's just use a little strip of this gold ribbon as the trunk underneath here. Okay, so we're going to ink this, and I'm not going to have us lay this all out. I'm just going to do it. I don't know what I'm going to do. I just thought we'd just do it. Okay, so we're going to ink it with the blue. We're going to glue this music sheet down first. Push this to the side. Excuse me. I just yawned and it's not even early. My husband and I have our sleeping off a little bit. Like he's still asleep and it's 10 o'clock. He never sleeps to 10 o'clock. So with the flight, oh my goodness. Friday about killed us. Now that's a major exaggeration, but we were so tired from traveling. We spent the day going in and out of vintage stores while we were killing time, and that was fun. I did get back home with some goodies. If I have a chance, I'll show them to you. I just thought I really got to get back onto my little Rudolph or he won't get finished in time. Here we go. So we'll just use the gold as his stem. Hope you guys have had a good week while I've been gone. We will probably have to make a couple more trips down to Cleveland. Unfortunately, that's how it works. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to add a second layer to the tree. Okay. things stack right up there. So cute. Simple and cute. Okay, now we're going to put the star up. Give it a little hit of ink. It's pretty blue, but it's mostly the white sides you want to cover. That kind of stick out in your... So I got some new doilies. I got some new vintage cards that were some Christmas, but mostly just other ones. Some good photographs, some old photos, and I got some children's books to make like envelopes and stuff out of that have good pictures. And I got some new bingo cards, which I needed. I was down to one. Can't find them just anywhere, obviously. Okay, there is that portion. Now, right here, I've got a piece of tea stain paper. I'm going to pull it out from over here in my stash. And I'm going to make, I'm going to fold it, I'm going to take it long ways, okay? And I'm going to kind of line it up right here at the bottom, leave a little bit of a space and fold it down. I think we're going to be able to fold it right in half. We are. And then I'm going to see how wide it is. And we're going to make a little journaling paper pad right there. I'm going to cut one. I'm going to use my small trimmer because it'll just be straight. I don't want to send off crooked stuff. Okay. We'll do maybe like measure one off the other one. Is basically what I'm doing here. Go ahead and measure this one too at the same time. That way they're as close to being the same as possible. Okay. All right. Push it all the way up. All right. Now we have to decide how many of those we want to actually use on the little flip out. I don't know what we want to call this. This is it's a 4-fold. And it's really nothing perfect about it. I just decide to start folding it, and folding it where it ends up is where it ends up. But I think it's fun. So we're going to use 3 of these because one of them's a little bit smaller. And in this situation, I want them to be the same size. Okay, so we're going to clip with our stapler, and then I'm going to find some, see if I can find some of the fabric. Here's a little piece. This is the fabric that we used on the front of the journal, and I'm just going to glue it across here. And I don't mind that it has some of the lining and other things sticking out of it. I feel like that gives it character. I am going to trim off the strings. There. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it. I'm sorry, guys, if I keep getting out of camera and I'm out of practice. It's weird what a week will do. Okay. Then going to glue that down. You will want to let this dry good before you try to start lifting your papers up. But then we're going to glue the bottom onto our flip out here, which it will fit right here next to the tree. So just run some glue across where your staples are. Okay. And then just center it where you know it will be inside its own little square. Want to make sure. It's really cute. Now, so we have done 2 of our squares, and I think on the sides we'll do little pockets. Now, I have some really cute little lace that I have used in other books. I don't know if it's going to be too big for this one, or the lace is too big or not. Oh, I think I like it. What do you think? It's kind of an off-white, but it has such beautiful lace. I don't know how old this lace is, but it's really pretty. And I'm going to even it up over here a little bit. And I thought we'd do a pocket on both sides. I just want to make sure that it's the exact same size, so we don't have any overlap problems. Like this one might be a little longer, but that's okay. We'll just we'll put the glue straight down onto the base and put the glue on the ends. Probably have to put something pretty small in here, like a little mini tag or something. And this will get you all sticky. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Forgot to put the glue at the bottom. We don't want our lace falling through. And that will keep everything inside. You want to kind of pull it tight because it's, you know, you want it to stay once the recipient starts putting stuff in the pocket. Okay, nice gluey fingers. Okay, now I'm going to flip it over so I can get a straight cut and cut off the leftovers there. Okay, we'll put a little bit more right here in this corner because I can see that it's not quite sticking in that corner. Okay, and maybe even this one little part of this corner. It's crazy, I must have not put it quite high enough. It's hard to see on this multicolored paper. There we go. Okay, so we have our little pocket. Now, on this other side, I'm trying to decide if I want to add another pocket because I kind of like the way that looks. And it will be more cohesive. Let's do that. Let's get another piece of our ribbon, our lace. Very old lace. Okay, we want it to be up in the right spot. We still need to ink the outside of this also. I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to move on to some different types of journals. After I do the winter time one. Now, if there's anyone out there that needs a Christmas daily and you haven't been able to get one and you need one, I will work as hard as I can to try to get, I think I could get at least one more made. Just need to message me on Etsy. Anytime you need to get hold of me, just message me on Etsy. Okay. I don't want anyone to go without one if they really wanted one. Now, I can, of course, always get you one before or as Christmas is approaching, but not necessarily in time for you to work on it during the Christmas. But a lot of people wait till after the holidays to work on their December dailies. They collect the items and maybe make notes about their day, and go back and fill it out when they don't feel so rushed and busy. That would probably be me. I'm kind of, you know, can't sit down and think about it right then because I'm busy. Okay, so I need a little bit more here at the top to hold the edge down. Same on this side. I just didn't want to put it up too high. Okay, let's let this dry, and then we'll come back and ink it and make some little little tags. Let's just go ahead and make the little tags that go with it while we're waiting for it to dry. Okay. Trying to see if I got this pulled tight enough. Okay. Oh, the glue is all over me. It's hard to hang on to anything when you're sticking to it. I mean, you can hang on to it. That makes no sense, but you can hang on to it more than you want. Okay, let's put the lid on the glue while we work on this next part. I thought we would do some little tags for the outside. I think I've got a couple of them over here. 2 little mini tags. Maybe I don't. Let me see. If I don't, I will find them. Okay, they're right here. Little tiny white tags. Okay, let's get around. Trying to remember to stay over in camera. I'm sorry, guys, if I keep pulling back. It's just old habit. I gotta relearn where I need to be. You know, I'm trying to knock out the harder things first. And when I say hard, it's not really hard. None of the things I do are hard. They're just different. So, you know, I like to make a lot of embellishments for people, for their journals. But they don't have to all be so time-consuming that you can't enjoy the process. So, I think we'll put some gold in the top of these, since we haven't used any gold since we've been, or gold ribbon, I'll put it that way, since we got started here. So we'll put gold in these little tags. And you can journal on these little tags as well. Even though they're small, there's always a little something that you can say. You know, it's always something that just takes a couple little lines. And I'm just stapling those on, yes, with a silver staple. And that's okay. You can't even tell when you get them together that the staple's silver, because I do it right on top. Now, we want to kind of even up the toppers, because let me get this. There we go. Nice. Okay. So these will go inside these little pockets. Okay. And we'll come back. Let me see what I've got that we could put in there. Maybe a little something on each one. Got some little snowflakes. Let's do that. So they're not just so plain. If I can get the package open. We've got blue snowflakes. We've got, let's do the blue ones. Okay, now I am going to go ahead and put a little glue on them because I don't like to take chances that you guys get them at home and then they're not staying together. So I always add a little extra of something. I'm kind of thinking that would be cute up there, but I want to make sure it stays on. So we're just going to glue it right here. Kind of hold it down till it stays, because it will want to come up, because it's, you know how the little puffy stickers are so cute, but they don't stay down very well, I have found. So that one's just going to dry right there, and this one's going to dry on its side, and we'll wait to put them in the pocket once everything's dried. Now we still need to ink around the outside of this, as I said before, but I really want to wait till it dries. And I think we'll end up tying it with some of the fabric from the book. We'll see. This one's gotten a little glue happy. I'm going to get my little, I may have to wait till it dries a little bit to get some of it. I don't know if there's more glue on me or more glue on the image or the tag, because I feel like I've got quite a bit on me. Okay, so I'm going to let it dry, and then I'll try to get the rest of that glue off. I'll set this aside and see if we have anything we can pull back over here and finish. I think we finished this already, so we don't need to worry with that. So this can go on the completed stack. And yes, I have a completed stack somewhere. What did I do with that? Oh, there it is. Okay, so that one's finished. We talked about what we were going to do with this little guy. We talked about whether we wanted to put more puffy stickers over here and say Merry Christmas, because he looked pretty lonely. We could do Christmas down like this and Merry kind of over to the center. I don't know. I don't know about this little guy. Okay, so I'm going to hold him still for a while. All right, now I'm just going to get some journaling cards. I'm going to do some simple little things to journaling cards. You and I both will learn along the way. I've got a little white bag, and I'm going to ink around it. You know me and my little white bags. I love the little ones, and I love to put them on things, and you know how I am. Let me get an envelope. Of course I need an envelope. I think I'm going to do one of these little file cards, which I got in my little haul this weekend in Ohio. But I'm also looking for my envelope. If I can find one small enough. There's an inside card. Here is an envelope, but I don't know if it's the right color. Oh, there's one. These are not tea-stained envelopes because I didn't want them to be tea-stained, because I wanted that crispness. Can't get that off my tongue for nothing. Sorry, guys. So I'm thinking I might do this little pocket on here. And here is R for Rudolph on a little flash card, an alpha card. And they just look like regular playing cards on the back. They're in the right blue scheme. for this book. And they're fun. Okay, so we're going to slide that inside there. So I'm thinking on the outside, what do we want to do? We can just decorate it up with some cheesecloth and some different things. You know, maybe we'll put the cheesecloth behind the little bag. Let's do that. Can never go wrong with cheesecloth. It always gets you that fun look. And I don't necessarily want it to go all the way out. I just want it to be like this. And I'm just going to trim it right now before I ever even glue it down, which is different for me. But that's okay. You can do however you want. Okay, there we go. Now let's quickly ink the envelope. My glue is volcanoing over here. I guess I should wipe it off and close it, huh? That might help. I'm just doing a swipe inking. You know, when you do a different color like this, you can just swipe it and it's gonna give your ink. It's gonna spread it out real nice and easy. Because I want to kind of ink on the inside here a little bit too. Okay, now there is our cheesecloth once again. I'm going to put this envelope on top of the cheesecloth. Let's see. Get it all down. It wants to attach itself to me, of course. Okay, and glue it on the back. Now I'm gluing this completely down to the card, and I'm doing it in the center so it, you know, and inside it will have the alpha card, but also you will have inside a journaling card inside the envelope. So plenty of journaling space, which I like. This book, this Rudolph book, has a lot of extra pockets. So you'll have lots of spaces to fill it up with goodies. I'm going to fill the majority like I normally do. But yeah, it has like 6 or 7 extra pockets compared to normal. Plus it has 2 that are the Rudolph I showed you, the side tuck and the pocket. So really you have quite a few extra pockets. There we go. Let me get this mess cleaned up right here. My poor little room after Christmas, it is pretty pitted out. Okay. Now, I think we'll be putting the alpha card inside, but I think it'd be cute to find a little reindeer to put on the front. And I think I found one right here on a journaling card, but his square is a little big, so I'm going to trim him out. Yeah, I love Tim Holtz's long scissors, because you can cut straight so much easier, guys. If you don't have these scissors, oh my goodness, you need them. It's a game changer, at least for me. And I've never been someone that likes big scissors to do crafts, but they really make cutting straighter, easier whenever you don't have a, like I took all my design team stuff with me on my trip. I sat at the airport on the way home and cut them out, and it was super fast because of these big scissors. Okay. There we go. He is so cute. Okay, now and then we're going to put an R in here for reindeer. Cute, cute. All right, now let's do a journaling card for the inside. I'm going to move these little scraps out of the way, which I don't throw away until I know for sure I don't need them anymore. I think I got to dig down here and see if I can find some more paper for this kit. I used almost every bit of the paper for this kit. It really just had great paper. I did find this, which might be big enough. This is in the book too, but just as an extra thing because I wanted to add that red. So let's just do that. Let's put it in there. We want to do it down like this. Let's try that. Now I'm going to show you, watch me get it all screwed up now. I'm going to show you how I can cut straighter. With these scissors compared to others, because they're so easy to do that. There we go. Now I am going to ink, of course. Doesn't take very much of this Faded Jeans. And you'll be able to journal on the back of this card. Okay, let's glue. I get my hands on it, they're like 10 thumbs or something. And just center your little white card onto the additional background, which I wanted it because I wanted it to be a little bit larger. Let me see if I have anything over here we can use as a pull. To pull it out, we can use this right here, which is just part of the lined binding. But I like for you to know that inside your envelope is something fun to journal on. So it doesn't take a lot of thought just to use your scraps. And if I can get my fingernails around it, you can see what I'm talking about. See, that's going to dry, and it's heavier than the normal. So then when you flip your envelope over, it's going to slip right down in, and you're going to have the little tab whenever you're ready to pull it out and use it. But I'm going to let it dry right now. Okay, now I am going to add a little bit of glue to this one side because my cheesecloth wants to just go everywhere, and I don't want it flopping around when it's being tucked into pockets. It just looks better. And I just kind of slide it over there real quick, and it just gets little tiny pieces of glue. Nothing major. as it pulls out my cheesecloth. I still feel like I need to get my groove back going, girls. You know how it is when you haven't done something for a while and you go back. It's kind of like being off work for quite a while and then you go back and it's like, where do I even start? But I missed it the whole time I was gone. I missed doing my channel, making my books. My journals, I guess I should say. There we go. So this is finished. We're going to take it over and put it with the finished, completed stuff. I am going to go back to this little guy. I have decided he is pretty long, but I have some things that are long that need longer cards, so that will work out fine. I'm going to see if I can get some of this glue right here off before I spend a whole lot of other items on this page or on this card. I don't like when glue looks a different color on paper. I don't know how you feel about that, but so you guys, while we were in Cleveland, we had sleet. I don't know if I told you this in the other video. If I did, forgive me. On Thursday, the whole day I was seeing doctors, we had sleet. And get this, if that couldn't be bad enough. Of course, we weren't driving ourselves. Cleveland Hospital has their act together. You know, they're in what I'm seeing them for, they're number 2 in the country, and for rheumatology. Johns Hopkins is number 1, and Cleveland is number 2. So that helps to know that you're going really to one of the best places you can. Mayo, believe it or not, was number 4, which surprised me. But anyway, long story short, it sleeted all day. Luckily, we didn't have to drive that day, but I woke up with a migraine that morning. And so I had my husband record all my visits, you know, so, you know, if there's something I didn't talk to him about this time, I can next time. But it was really aggravating, you know. I'm like, what? This is just my luck. I would have a migraine today. And listen, it carried on to the next day. I felt miserable until really about 10 or 11 the next day, which was on Friday, which was a travel day. And unfortunately, our flight didn't leave until 9 o'clock in the evening. So that just helped me out a little bit because it was supposed to snow all day, but it didn't. They didn't end up getting snow. The sleet had dried up, which was wonderful. It ended up being a perfect Friday. It was cold. You don't want to go to Cleveland without a coat. It was very cold, but it was, we've got a list of antique places and vintage places. They don't have a ton. They have a lot of cool little eating joints in their downtown area called, they have a little area called Cleveland City, which I thought was cute, outside of Cleveland. Oh, no, I'm sorry, not Cleveland City, Ohio City. They call it Ohio City. And it's a real quaint little town outside of Cleveland. And we drove over, took us about 15 minutes to get there. And we drove over in the rental car and went up and down to some of these little shops. Only really 2 of them out of all of them was something that could help me. You know, I did get some more Christmas books for next year. And a lot of vintage cards and pictures and a few books, some table linens that I can cut up into goodies. And we found this one shop, which was funny because the guy that ran it, he was telling me that the section that you walk into just looks like what you'd see in a hoarder's house. And he said the reason it looks like a hoarder lives here is because I buy from hoarders when they pass away. The families call me. And this particular shop was so full of stuff and had so much vintage Christmas stuff, you guys. Oh my gosh. But the old bulbs they had were amazing. But also the old coats and clothes and shoes. And they said that they have people from the movies come and purchase from them on a regular basis. So they've got something going there. But he is overpriced. That part was kind of a bummer, but you know, he didn't think he was, you know, but he doesn't compare it to other cities, obviously. But I still bought some things that I fell in love with, and mostly the little vintage cards and so forth. I mean, he wanted $75 for a yard of like 1970s, kind of like Laugh-In style orange and pink floral. And that was great. I mean, I'm sure it was probably worth that, but who's going to pay it? I mean, I'd have to be knowing that I could really make some money on that in order to buy it. I mean, you could not profit. I don't know that anyone could profit at that sort of thing. And I don't profit anyway. My goal is not to profit. My goal is to fill my time with joy. You know, this gives me joy, getting on here and visiting with my YouTube friends and helping them to be able to locate journals and have journals to do their memories in. And that gives me joy. And made some really good friends so far. And I'm loving it. So you guys, let me see how long our video is. We have got to go. We're past an hour. Oh my goodness. My husband Techie is going to strangle me because it's like hour 18 minutes. So, love you guys. See you next time. Give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And I'll see you next time. Bye.